Right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Before we start, I would like to thank our 5 Patreon supporters, Tara, Greg, Callum, Michael and Cameron, along with our 3 Subscribe Star supporters, Kalamty, Kenneth and Michael. Of course, the best way to support the channel will always be liking and commenting on the videos to help more people see the video, or equally, if you don't like the video, or like me, you think I'm a bit of a prick, then leave a comment letting me know that. I enjoy reading all the comments I can, even the negative ones. Most of them are hilarious, and it helps the channel due to the engagement. So thank you to the trolls and everyone else. You all do your part. Now, as anyone who's seen my community post last night will know, the channel has been monetized and is now in the YouTube Partner Program, much to my shock. The channel's success is all thanks to you guys. Without you lot watching, liking and sharing my videos, this channel would be nothing. It gained 20k subs in 6 weeks and every video has an over 95% approval rating. It's insane and I appreciate all the support you have given me, even the trolls, so thank you guys. Right, let's get back on topic. Now, we got 2 stories that kind of roll into one here, so I'll do them as one video rather than milking it out with 2. Yesterday at the Tory party hustings in Carlise, Boris Johnson labelled the BBC the Brexit bashing corporation. Now, this came in response to an audience member's question about the BBC's blatant anti-Brexit stance, which I've been pointing out for weeks now. The second part of this story is that everyone's favourite publicly funded broadcaster, the BBC, spends £3 million a year on mugs and magnets for its staff and corporate partners, which is obscene if you ask me. Now, of course, all of this comes not long after the BBC decided to go back on its agreement to fund free TV licences for over 75s, if the government agreed to let the BBC raise licence fees in line with inflation, which they have done every year since agreeing to these conditions in 2015. Now, let's check out the article and first a small clip from the Tory party hustings where Boris rightly calls them the Brexit bashing corporation. A term I think was either first coined by Jacob Rees-Mogg or was seen by him and first popularised by him in 2017. But this is from what I can tell, I may be wrong, so let's check it out.
Good afternoon, Boris. Andy Stevenson. I'm from East Cumbria. The BBC has been at the forefront of the assault on Brexit for some time. They no longer make a pretence of being independent and balanced, in my opinion.
The Brexit bashing corporation.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So, should something be done about the licence fee?
Well, what I will say is that I think it's absolutely monstrous that the BBC, having been given quite a generous settlement, should now mysteriously discover that all their highly expensive presenters mean that they can't afford to look after over 75-year-olds when it comes to their TV licence. And I think we should. Is that the BBC at the back, by the way?
I'm sure the BBC are here, yes.
Okay, hi BBC. Look after the over 75-year-olds, please. Thank you.
But, I mean, they were given that responsibility by George Osborne, weren't they? It's kind of putting that on welfare policy onto the BBC.
No, they accepted it as part of the deal. You know, they're not children. They knew what the agreement was, and they should stick to it.
Now, that is probably one of the most accurate names for the anti-democratic scum that make up the BBC. Their hard-left socialist politics cannot be hidden behind the claims of impartiality they constantly make. It's clear for anyone to see they are the political propaganda arm of the left-wing Ramonas and communist shitweasels of this world. Now let's take a look at this Express article on the BBC wasting taxpayers' money, something that I think they probably do in other places we just haven't found out about yet. Now the article headlines: TV licence fee fury as BBC spends £3 million on mugs and magnets. The equivalent of 20 the equivalent of 20,000 TV licences. The BBC is set to spend £3 million on branded mugs and magnets just weeks after it scrapped free TV licences for the over 75s. Oh, so they haven't even spent it yet. They're planning to spend it. Then they can stop planning to spend it. That's obscene. The eye-watering sum is equivalent to nearly 20,000 TV licences. The taxpayer-funded corporation will spend millions on hoodies, mugs, magnets and umbrellas to hand out to staff and viewers. They say it is to promote programmes and corporate identities. Well, the BBC don't really need to promote anything. Everybody knows who you are the world over. The decision is likely to anger pensioners and campaigners against the BBC's recent decision to enforce the annual £154.50 fee on those aged over 75. You don't need to be a pensioner or a campaigner to not like that. That's just despicable. You know what I mean? 3 million on cups? Who cares? You don't need branded cups. Just get a cup. They can drink out of any cup, pound shop cup. The BBC sparked uproar earlier this month after it announced it was abolishing the free TV licence for over 75s, with the plans taking effect from June 2020. Now, I made a couple of videos about this because it's just unbelievable. Only households with someone in receipt of pension credit will be able to claim a free TV licence, meaning around 3.7 million over 75s will be stung by the annual £154.50 fee. The move has caused an outcry, with thousands condemning the BBC's decision. From June 2020, only around 1.5 million households will be eligible for a free TV licence under the new scheme. The government has been criticised for forcing the financial burden onto the BBC. No, as I said earlier, the BBC could raise the licence fee year on year in line with inflation if they took on the over 75s. Meanwhile, it was revealed this week that the BBC stars have seen their wages rise by nearly 7% since last year. The broadcaster spent $157 million on BBC talent last year, up from $147 million the year before, according to the Daily Mail. On Tuesday, furious pensioners protested outside the BBC's offices in Belfast over the decision to scrap free TV licences for the over 75s. Earlier this month, a campaigner warned the decision could lead to an increase in elderly suicides. I don't know about that, but... Gemma Humes told the North West Evening Mail the free licence fee cuts could leave elderly people without company if they cannot afford to watch television. She said it's absolutely heartbreaking that many elderly people won't be able to afford to watch TV, and they will lose the companionship that having it will provide. It will make them feel glum. I think it could lead to more suicides among elderly people. Theresa May also urged the BBC to rethink its decision. Age UK has set up a national petition against the licence fee cuts and has so far gained more than 600,000 signatures. A BBC spokesman said items would be sold in the shop. He said this tender covers both the BBC and our commercial operations, which are not funded by the licence fee, and includes requirements including Blue Peter badges and materials for schools. So I love how these articles attack the presenters at the BBC. While I think all these lying scumbag presenters at the BBC are pond scum, the £157 million quoted in that article for BBC presenters is a fraction of the BBC's £3 to £4 billion a year budget from taxpayers. How can the BBC mismanage its money in such a piss-poor fashion to be that bad on money that they need to do all this silliness, like cutting TV licences for over 75s when they're only spending, what, couple of % on their actual BBC stars that everyone's moaning about, like Gary Lineker and that? They might be on silly money, but in comparison to how much the BBC makes, these presenters are on next to nothing. Like, my question is, what else do they waste money on that's likely to cost much more than the £3 million a year spent on these cups? I mean, £3 million on cups is a complete waste of money, let's be serious. And especially when cutting 3 TV licences. But I'm sure it's only a drop in the ocean. Now you have to think, blockbuster movies cost usually a couple of £100 million on average to make. And they have far better special effects and massive celebrities starring in them. How does the BBC pump out shocking TV shows with piss-poor video effects and mostly nobody actors, while spending so much a year that TV licences are no longer free? Where's that come from? I do get that they broadcast 24/7, but I still don't see the £4 billion value coming from any of their shows. A lot of them are low-budget talk shows and piss-poor dramas with zero special effects. I think the government needs to investigate what these clowns are doing with the licence fee money, as they seem to not give a shit what they waste the money on, while trying to make the elderly pay for fucking TV licences. Now I'm going to end the video there. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Are you shocked that the BBC wastes £3 million on cups? Or do you think it's pretty much what they expected of them? Now don't forget to like, share and subscribe as it helps the channel a lot, and I will see you all in the next video.